If you've ever looked in the background of these videos and thought to yourself, ooh, that looks nice, it is. It's also... It's also responsible for that. But first, a word from our sponsors. You! Yes, you! You look like the type that doesn't leave the house. Oh, you do leave the house? Well, you shouldn't. You have a head shaped like a chewed up pencil eraser. If you can't leave the house due to some government restriction, or simply because you're ugly, then the boffins at Fast Hosts are giving away a work-from-home setup worth up to £5,000. I am reliably informed that your work-from-home setup will be even smaller than this top-of-the-line supercomputer. All you have to do to win is answer my techie test question, which I will be giving you later on in the video. But for now, back to our main feature. The LIFX Beam is 180 eye-watering pounds of English currency. If you're interested in something a little bit cheaper, you might be interested to find out that the Govee Glide is £67. Before we begin though, I think it is imperative that we Google for how to pronounce LIFX, because apparently I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time.
LIFX.
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 LIFX. That's not how you spell fix. Thanks to Govee for sponsoring today's video and sending me their Govee Glide wall light. This thing is possibly the best value for money smart home product I have ever been sent. It's bright, it's pretty, and it works with both Google Home and She That Should Not Be Named for voice control. Today's video is a comparison between the Govee Glide and the LIFX Beam. LIFX have actually always been a personal favourite of mine because despite the high price tag, they are in fact a premium product. They are renowned for having the best colour saturation on the market and the best bright...
Take the piss out of them, it will be hilarious. What?
I don't want to take the piss out of LIFX, but I've given their software a free pass for far too long. There are serious issues with the LIFX ecosystem, and so this video is all of the reasons that the Govee Glide wall light at £70 is actually better than the LIFX Beam at 180. LIFX, once upon a time, sat around a table and said to themselves, we're gonna let people run animations on the beam, so the lights are gonna do exciting things, yeah? But what we need to know is, if we disconnect power from the beam, should the beam remember what it was doing, or should it just forget like it never happened? Forgetful, Brian. Make it bloody forgetful. And should we have a persistent notification on the phone that you can't get rid of unless you reboot? Persistently irritating the customer is absolutely key, Brian. And should we give them a finger painting option that's absolutely bloody useless, that when you try and use it, it just makes an ugly mess? Brian, you son of a bitch, you're a mind reader. And we know a song about Brian, don't we, Mr. Socky? Brian ruined his product because Brian is a
Brian, you f***ing numpty!
My LIFX Beam is only ever animated in these videos because it's not real. That's what my LIFX Beam really looks like, because it's a forgetful idiot. I'm white today. This entire room has its power cut every day using Wi-Fi plug sockets, which means that if I wanted to animate that strip, I would have to reanimate it using the app every single day of my life. Not only does it forget that it was animating, it often forgets what colours it used to be and just gives me blinding white instead. Cause Brian needs a slap. Brian. Govee, on the other hand, how cool is that? I can't believe it remembers! That's so good! Oh god, it's so good. The Govee Glide remembers not only its previous colours, but also whether or not it was animating. It returns to exactly the same state when you return power as it was before you cut the power. The Govee animations are fully customizable, and they have a whole bunch of ready created scenes to choose from. But the ability to create your own colours and your own animations is second to none, and much better laid out than the LIFX equivalent. It can take a while to find the animation you want, but if you're after a smooth chasing transition, you simply choose the rainbow effect, set the speed and directions of movement, and then pick your colors. I now have an animation that I like, with the colors that I chose, going in the direction that I want, and best of all, when I cut to the power at night, it doesn't just forget what it was doing the following morning. Yay! Govee wins! Is that a good Street Fighter impression? No? Okay then. This is what you think all of your house parties are going to look like when you get a light that can react to music. This is what your house parties will really be like. Ba. Ba. Be. Be. Mo. Baba. If you're the type of person that likes to have a rave in your house, then we know a song about that, don't we, Mr. Socky? But it's too rude to sing. We're kidding, of course. This is probably awesome for parties, but Mr. Socky and I only ever hold sophisticated soirees. If you are the type to have a rave in your house, then you'll probably find that the Govee Glide's inbuilt microphone is a really cool addition for making your lights dance around in your room. This works really well with the built-in microphone, but if your sound source is too far away from your Govee Glide, you can actually use your phone's mic instead. And the ability to choose between the phone's mic and the built-in mic is a stroke of absolute genius. If you have other Govee products, such as their LED strip or their Flow Pro light bars, then you could sync them all to music and have a damn good rave up. You'll be the envy of all of your imaginary friends. Go you. LIFX also have the ability to react to music playing on your phone, except it's terrible. It's like watching a 2-year-old trying to clap in time to the disco at a wedding. Ha Yay, music! Garbage. Govee wins. Both my LIFX bulb and my LIFX LED strip did a Harold Bishop from Neighbours and forgot who they were.
You know me, don't you?
Yes.
LIFX is one of the most forgetful systems I have ever owned, and it's far too cheerful about the whole affair. Should we make the app far too cheerful about its own senility when it forgets about the bulb for no reason? Cheerful as balls, Brian. It's gone dark like a metaphor, but literally the same. It's gone dark. It's literally gone dark, right? On top of this, sometimes setting animations in the app does nothing. Themes and animations are for some reason in totally separate locations. Finger painting is a train wreck, and there's a whole tab dedicated to flogging you stuff. And the darkness. For the love of God, the darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. The Govee app is simple to use, attractive to look at, and everything is sensibly located and easy to get to. The default theme is a little twee for my tastes, but you can switch it to dark mode to shake off some of that 90s vibe, and everything actually works the way it's meant to. LIFX. Everything works the way it's meant to. The one criticism that I do have of the Govee app is that you can't actually put devices into rooms, which is a bit strange. There should be some kind of way of segmenting things up, and there isn't. It doesn't matter to me personally, because I use the Amazon app anyway to turn my devices on and off or use my face hole. The only important thing to me is that when I press the buttons in the app, something actually happens. And the lights don't suddenly magically develop Harold Bishop syndrome. Govee wins!
Fast Hosts is a UK-based web hosting company which offers a wide range of web hosting products and other services. They aim to support UK businesses and entrepreneurs at all levels, providing effective and affordable hosting solutions to suit any need. If you want a domain name, such as reginaldisnotugly.co.uk, then that's the sort of service they offer. It would be a lie, Reginald. Dirty, stinking lie. If you wanted the world to see your website, then Fast Hosts also offer solutions such as web hosting and email hosting. In order to win this work-from-home setup worth up to £5,000, all you have to do is answer the following question. In relation to SSL certificates, what does SSL stand for? You're answering in the comments section for this video like an idiot, aren't you, Reginald? Don't do that. Visit the link in my description and give your answer to Fast Hosts directly to win this competition. And now back to our main feature. The Govee Glide is gorgeous. The colors are amazingly saturated, the animations are smooth, the curved bracket looks stunning, and at this price point, it's got no right competing with LIFX. And yet here we are. Both of these devices are practically identical, but the LIFX Beam's joints are far more obvious. And in my opinion, the squared corner piece isn't as attractive as the rounded version on the Govee, and it stands out far more as a junction for the rest of the parts. There is no denying that the LIFX Beam is brighter for some colors, but nowhere near as many as I expected. And whilst animating the strips, you can't actually tell the difference between the two. It's most obvious on blues, but unless you had these two devices side by side, I don't think you would know the difference. And I can't actually foresee a situation where you're going to want a bright blue solid strip all of the time. I can, and Philips, you would have beaten both of them. Shut up! At its brightest setting, the Govee is actually brighter than I need it to be. I know this for a fact because I have a routine on my LIFX Beam that when I say to she that should not be named chill out mode, it sets it to the level of brightness that I want it to be at whilst I am working at my desk. And that level of brightness is actually lower than I currently had the Glide set to. The Glide is plenty bright enough, I promise. So what's wrong with it? Well, the first hurdle I have to personally overcome is that the angled bracket faces right. Each individual piece has a different connecting end, which means that if you only have a right piece, you can only face the track one way. Personally, I need it to go this way over my door frame, and I can't do that unless I want to start the power supply at the top of the frame. Kinda sucks a little bit, and it's a bit of a shame. You don't have this problem with LIFX. Their interconnecting block can be turned around so that you can have the bracket face one way or the other. It's totally interchangeable. I hope that Govee will resolve this for their next version of this product because I think currently it's a bit of an oversight. There is no Apple HomeKit support, which means that if you are a big supporter of the Empire, the Emperor is going to be disappointed in you for buying this product.
I see no reason not to spend the extra £110, young Skywalker. Right, Lord Vader.
Are these impressions working? Should I stop doing them now? And although you can turn the device on and off using your mouth hole, and you can set solid colors, unfortunately you can't set scenes or animations. This is something I think Govee could quite easily overcome with a software update. All they need to do is advertise the DIY section of the app and your scenes to She That Should Not Be Named as She That Should Not Be Named scenes, and you'll be able to recall them using routines. And finally, and this is another very minor one in my opinion, you can't extend it. The power supply is only capable of controlling those 6 sections that come with it. You couldn't buy a second kit and add more sections. This is something that Govee plan to resolve in their upcoming Pro version, and when that's released, perhaps I'll let you know about it. Apart from these few minor indiscretions, this thing blows LIFX away, and I mean that wholeheartedly. The LIFX stuff has always held this position over the market of having the best saturation of colour as kind of its thing, but this thing actually has the same level of saturation across the spectrum. Sure, it's not as bright for blues and maybe greens, but apart from that, it's as good as LIFX at actually producing the colours. Aside from that, it's better implemented in almost every single way than the LIFX product is. This is the best value for money product I think I have ever been sent, because the price does not reflect the quality. The quality is absolutely astounding and the price is minuscule. If you're looking for accent lighting, this is it. As usual, there are links in the description if you want to buy anything you have seen in today's video. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. That'll tell YouTube's algorithms it was a good video and more people should see it. If you want to see some more of this guy, hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. If you ding the bell, it lets YouTube know that you want to be notified when I upload videos. These incredible people here are my patrons, and seriously, without them, there would be no channel. I would have given up forever ago. I would still be doing the day job, and this would be too much for me. If you want to be one of those incredible people, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I will genuinely love you forever. These are my Facebooks and my Twitters and my Instagrams. Come and hang out there, and we can be best friends. See you next time. Just sweep my eyebrows back into place. Brian, you son of a bitch, you're a mind reader. But there is also the option to have your phone listen instead if your music. I don't know what music is. Ha ha! Yay, music!